from genes to cells and stars to planets. Our universe and galaxies are wonderful in a very phenomenal way, in a way that makes me remember how small we are in relation to this world, despite our fascinating ability to learn, travel, and discover environments that are completely different from our Earth. Here we gonna talk about the relationship of humans to outer space and what went on when we left the Earth. Let's begin.
Дорогие друзья, близкие и незнакомые, через несколько минут могучий космический корабль унесет меня в далекие просторы Вселенной.
April 12 was a huge day in space history, 20 years before the launch of the first space mission to see the Russian astronaut Yuri Gagarin becoming the first human to reach space. Then came Neil Armstrong, who announced to the world that humans are not only able to travel around Earth's orbit, but also proved that humans are capable of discovering the moon and other planets.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 1969, the United States government announced the success of the Apollo 11 flight, ensuring that our NASA astronaut is the first person to land on the moon. Humans love exploring the unknown, the hidden part we knew nothing about. Until we opened our eyes to the stars, our mind starts asking his questions. Humans can only live under the conditions of the Earth, particularly our muscles and legs that can overcome the gravity of our planet. On the other hand, in space, astronauts lose their strength. They don't use their muscles and legs much. They begin to float and swim in space. Sounds like silences.
And
Thank
does it
you.
feel like you're all messed up inside or what?
Yeah, I mean, gravity is not my friend. I'm having these, I need to learn to walk again.
Since gravity doesn't exist in space, it causes additional pressure on the heart, unlike our blood that moves from the heart by the effect of gravity. Not to mention the lack of oxygen, high pressure, and radiation wouldn't be tolerated with our human bodies.
And I figured that would never happen without the preparation we had training the team. And so I'd like
For over 50 years, NASA's Human Research Program has studied what happens to the human in space to keep astronauts safe and healthy throughout their missions. It turns out that spending time in space can change your brain. A spaceflight could affect the human brain, which could weaken astronaut eyesight and last for a long time. Scientists suspect that these vision issues are caused by increased intracranial pressure or pressure in the head. The risk of cancer from exposure to charged particles that cause complex DNA damage and resultant mutations is a long-term concern for astronauts on prolonged missions in deep space.
So of all the things that the Human Research Program is investigating, the biological consequences of radiation exposure is one of the major ones. Some of the reasons for that is that the health consequences following radiation exposure are very complex processes.
One of the most remarkable discoveries from NASA's study is that there is a change in telomere length dynamics during spaceflight and within days of landing. Also, NASA found out that the immune system responds properly in space. Therefore, vaccines are used during long-duration missions. But also, don't let us forget about the role of biotechnology in space. Space biotechnology is a field aimed at applying tools of modern biology to advance our goals in space exploration. These advances depend on our ability to influence high techniques for amplification and sequencing DNA and measuring levels of RNA transcripts, proteins, and metabolites in a cell. Moreover, NASA provides jobs to people who are interested to do research in the field of astrobiology. One example is biomedical studies to control and reduce space-related stressors on living systems in order to assist space exploration.
My name is Johnny Kim. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm a Navy SEAL and physician.
Before NASA, I was a research engineer at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution.
I was actually a PhD student.
Several techniques can recognize and control any potential biological pollutants. This is important for planetary protection, but also for basic astrobiology research to study the limits of life in space and possible evolution in other environments. Following this, NASA astronauts successfully edited DNA using CRISPR-Cas9 technology while working on the Genes in Space 6 investigation on May 23, 2019. This investigation was designed to analyze how DNA breaks are repaired in the space environment. If we take a further look in the future, we'll find out many strategies to accomplish. What about making genetically modified plants that can live without oxygen and survive radiation? Even if we can use creatures like water bears and leave them in space, then detect the changes occurring to them in a specific time. If there's a desired acquired trait, we can use genetic engineering to transfer a specific trait. That's for all scientists. Here was JBT, where everything is little.